We're hitting on over 61% of our bets, and I've got three best bets that you need to take today. Joe DeLeon here at the Sports Geek. We give out three best bets every single day during the week. And quickly, let's look back at the scoreboard. We had another 2-1 Monday performance in the NBA. Ended up hitting on Celtics -4 versus the Grizzlies, Heat -6.5 versus the Wizards, but did not get Pacers -5.5 versus the Kings. Overall, currently sitting at 54, 34, and 1, 16, 12, and 1 in the NBA, 37 and 18 in college basketball. We'll be having Final Four picks coming up later on in the week. But let's get to what we've got today. A lot of crazy big spreads. The matchups for Wednesday are terrible. And I think the books aren't messing around with all these bad matchups, these extremely lopsided matchups. The only close line is the game between the Hawks and the Mavs. First game, and this is the only underdog that we're taking. Heat +10.5 versus the Celtics. Currently on the injury report on Tuesday night when we're recording this, Al Horford, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Jaylen Brown are all listed as day-to-day. I think that at the very least that they're not going to have their entire typical starting lineup. We only have so many games left in the NBA season. While the Celtics have looked fantastic and they've been a covering machine, a line this wide against a Heat team that is trying to find their way into the last couple of spots in order to get into the bubble, they're going to come out swinging. They're also a sneaky good team to bet on to cover right now because they're 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games. So we're taking the Heat for that reason against the Celtics. Hopefully they can get it done. Now we are going to take favorites to cover disgustingly large spreads. I don't feel completely great about these two spreads because of how big they are. But I'm going off of the fact that the teams that they're facing are so god-awful and that both these teams have been playing steady basketball that they're going to be able to get it done. The first one being Pacers -14.5 versus the Hornets. The Hornets right now are 0-5 in their last 5 games. They have been an incredible mess since they lost LaMelo Ball for the season. They have not played competitive or competent basketball, nor do they have anybody to turn to. I look at some of these big spreads that they've had over a recent stretch. Back on March 21st against the Thunder, top team, 20.5 point spread, they didn't cover. Against the Clippers on March 16th, 13.5 point spread. Now we're talking about games that they had LaMelo Ball. 13.5 point spread, did not cover. They did cover a 16-point spread on March 7th against the Cavs. In the last 10-point spread that they had, they did not cover it against the Golden State Warriors, which was 12.5 back on March 3rd. So I understand that that number is big, and we are in a matchup situation against a quality Pacers team, not exactly a dominant Pacers team, but a good Pacers team. I feel like knowing how much they've completely mailed it in and given up, that this is a chance to take advantage of that with the Pacers. The last one that we're going to take the Clippers -17.5 versus the Pelicans. The Clippers right now are a wagon. They are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. They're 9-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. But the most important part about this, and one of the things that we've been taking advantage of in this final month, are season-ending injuries. We've taken advantage of that multiple times to success. Zion Williamson, CJ McCollum, they were announced that they were shut down, and this is their first game without them. I would believe that in a circumstance like this, that they are not going to play competent, competitive, good ball. They're just not. I know that spread is massive, but right now we have seen some amazing defensive performances by the Clippers down this stretch at the end of the season. The thing that gets a little tricky with predicting what's going to happen here with the Pelicans is that they haven't had any spreads that are even close to this big. But when we look at the Clippers, when they have spreads that are over, let's call it 12 points, two recent matchups that they had that they covered in. March 28th against the Brooklyn Nets, they covered by 13, which is a bottom feeder team. And then the Hornets, 13.5, which we just mentioned a second ago, they covered on March 16th. They have not had any other big spreads since February 8th. So in the two instances where they've played awful teams that are at the bottom of the standings in their respective conferences, they have gotten the job done and they have covered. So I'm going to bank on that. I'm going to bank on the Pelicans season being over, them giving up, and the Clippers trying to finish the season as strong as possible. Folks, let me know in the comments below. Who else are you picking? What do you think of the picks for today? Hit that like button and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.